Thank you, Tirmeni, for the words of encouragement. Now I would like to invite our beloved Shinu K. Thomas Achin for his words. Thank you.
Glory be to the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, one true God. Most respected Tirumeni, respected Jidin Achan and my beloved Achans, respected office bearers of OSSAE East Asia region, respected headmasters, headmistresses, and teachers of Sunday School of East Asia region. I'm so privileged and so happy to be with you today. Not only because I got a chance to interact with you today through this online session through Zoom, not only because but also I got a wonderful chance to my beloved ones whom I am acquainted with for many years. It is so grateful, so immensely happy to see you, see your happy faces, to be with you at least for some time. Beloved ones, first of all, at the very onset, let me congratulate most respected Tirumeni and the office bearers of the newly formed OSSAE East Asia region, which is indeed a great need of the hour. We know the students who are being brought up in that part of the world deserve or they demand a different curriculum as from what we have in OSSAE or even OSSAE OKR. I'm so happy with the initiative and congratulate all the office bearers for all the tireless efforts they have put so far, especially in launching the new website with all necessary details. Without going to further introductory notes, let me begin my session. At the very onset, let me remind you that I have nothing new to offer you, and I have no much of an experience as a tutor or a trainer to teachers in this regard. My experience as a Sunday school student, as a Sunday school teacher, and as the president of different Sunday school units, and as a parent of Sunday school children, let me share some of the thoughts that come to my mind when I think of teaching in Sunday school. As we all know, we face many changes with regard to Sunday school training. Let me request respected Jidin Achan to enable me to share the screen.
So,
yes, thank you. Yes, we know that there are many challenges that we face as Sunday school teachers. And for each of those challenges, we do have many possibilities lie behind to make those challenges as possibilities. I hope you all can see the screen shared. Can you?
yes, Achin.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me begin with a WhatsApp message which I received today morning. There are many students who are unable to go to Sunday schools due to the lockdown, especially back in India. I know in most of Australia, New Zealand are now free from COVID, and you have started physical Sunday school classes. But when a student who could not actually attend to the Sunday school classes for a while were asked by the teacher, who killed Goliath? Now there are two blanks and a clue given, the ID, and the student is responding, it is COVID. So we are facing this type of a difficulty at times due to the COVID situation. Now, before beginning the session, let us have a look to Colossians chapter 1, verse 28, which is very relevant for us as Sunday school teachers. The verse goes like this: it is He whom we proclaim, warning everyone and teaching everyone in all wisdom, so that we may present everyone mature in Christ. This is the very intent of Sunday school teaching. As we know, Sunday school is a wonderful opportunity to serve. There are things which are rewarding us, sharing the gospel with our little children. But for all its rewards, Sunday school also carries with it some unique challenges. We will come to those challenges soon. To teach in the Sunday school in a Christian context is to provide meaningful encounters with Christ, which unfortunately we have lost, and to the words of Christ, so that people are challenged and transformed to impact their world. Moving to the challenges, I have identified certain challenges. If this were a physical session, I would have asked you to suggest the challenges that you face. I have identified certain challenges. I will narrate that to you now. If you have something to add, we have opportunity to discuss those challenges towards the end. Jithanachan has given a slot for question and answer session. If our beloved Tirumeni will be here, Tirumeni also will be able to share and give possible answers to the challenges that you face. The first challenge that I have identified is lack of competence. Please do not misunderstand me. This is not to underestimate any of our teachers, but it is a fact that not all teachers are trained to be teachers, both spiritually and in secular grounds. We don't have a formal secular education to be teachers. We face that difficulty when we deal with our children in Sunday school also. The teacher does not feel confident because he or she lacks the biblical and theological knowledge. We know many teachers want to teach, but they do not feel confident because they feel they lack the biblical and theological knowledge to help them interpret the Bible and the Sunday school text correctly. Teachers not only are faced with difficult passages, but they have no idea about how to access good resources. Resources in the sense, we don't know where our church stands when we come to teach certain dogmas. This sort of theological and biblical illiteracy is a challenge that most of our teachers face when we deal with our Sunday school children. A recent study which was held in the US, not in our setting, in the US, a recent study found that 45% of people who regularly attend church read their Bible more than once a week. Only 45% read the Bible more than once a week. They regularly attend the church service. What I intend to say is that our biblical illiteracy rate is so high. Almost 1 in 5 churchgoers say that they never read the Bible. We don't know. And we are not effectively teaching our kids the Bible. Now, there is another reason for not all our teachers are exposed to the Orthodox theology and its practices. First reason is that they are not being born in an Orthodox family. We know we have teachers who are married to the Orthodox Church and later they become teachers in the Sunday school. They haven't had the chance to be born in an Orthodox family and they are not acquainted with the Orthodox theology as such. There are certain teachers, though they are born to Orthodox parents, they didn't have much opportunity to what we call to come across the Orthodox teachings as such. Now, this is a challenge that most of our Sunday school teachers face. Moving further, second challenge that we face and most of our teachers complain is about lack of cooperation from the part of the parents. There are many reasons. That is, some parents, most of them are simply not interested to send students to Sunday school. I have very different opinion about our parents in the East Asia region because I have first-hand experience that they are so interested to send their students to Sunday school. But there are parents who are simply not interested to send the students to Sunday school. They are not even aware of the benefits of their children being trained in Sunday school. And most of the parents, their excuse is that their children are engaged with other secular learning even on Sundays. Having said that, the other side of the story is that I have, as I told you, I have first-hand experience with Australia, especially Melbourne, Adelaide, and New Zealand, where I have met with parents who simply come to church to send their children to the Sunday school. There are parents of that sort also. So this is a generalized comment that is there is a lack of cooperation from the side of the parents. How many parents, let me ask you teachers, how many parents have come to you and inquired you about the behavior of or the performance of their child in the Sunday school class? I doubt whether any of you have faced with such a fortunate situation. Now, the third challenge that I identified is that of the lack of interest in the part of the student. It is there that there is a lack of interest in the part of the children. The most common complaint that we hear is that we are covering the same material. The teachers, they simply follow the curriculum, follow the text as such. They do not cover anything which is related to the topic outside the text. So they are covering the same material as they can read in the textbook. Now, in the children's side, there is another attitude that there is an aversion. I don't know whether that word can be used. There is an aversion to spiritual activities as our children grow up. They quite often ask, what's there in it for me? That is a common attitude that we find everywhere, not only outside India, even in India, we see children asking, what's there for me in a Sunday school class? What benefit do I have in attending a Sunday school class? Now, most of our children have the issue of conflict with the secular learning. They have too much of things to learn secularly. Even they have the need, they have other resources to cover. Even on a Sunday, they are so engaged with secular learning. Some or a quite few of our students even fear the feeling of being outdated among their peers if they share with them the fact that they are attending Sunday school classes. This is among the grown-up kids. Moving forward, the change in the trends of the world is another challenge that we as teachers face as far as the Sunday school teaching is concerned. The world has become spiritual but not religious. What I mean is, most people, they in modern era, it is a trend to people to say that they are not religious, but they are spiritual in a way. The recent oath-taking ceremony of the Kerala ministers, some of you might have noticed. Even the communist ministers, some of them have taken the pledge in the name of God. But they say that they are not religious. They do not follow any religion, but they are spiritual in their own ways. It is a modern trend of the world to say that they are spiritual but not religious. They are no longer affiliated to any religion. There is another trend, which is diversity. We see there is a greater acceptance of ethnic or cultural or religious diversity among the younger generations. There is a greater acceptance to the diverse family structures. So there is an acceptance to diversity among the younger generation. Now, thirdly, there is a decline in the family faith. We seldom find any families coming together discussing faith matters. The family prayer has become a rarity, a scarcity. We couldn't actually find many families to do family prayers together. So there is a very evident decline in family faith, which actually affects the younger generation, and in fact, it in turn affects the Sunday school also. Other changes in our world include the fact that the 8 to 18-year-olds, they experience at least 7.5 hours of media each day. There is a media saturation. Our youngsters, they are more and more addicted to this media, web and other digital technologies. People are increasingly using the web and digital technologies for schoolwork, for information, and for social connections. They are so keen and so addicted to that. Now, finally, there is a time stress. By time stress, I mean people, their lives today are very complicated, very complicated. They are time stressed. Then no wonder to say the attending church may no longer be a priority to many of our faithful. Beloved ones, being identified all these challenges, we need not be afraid, we need not be tense. There are opportunities. These challenges are really opportunities. Opportunities to make a significant impact in the lives of the kids and the families. We are called to see God, ask for His wisdom. Take a hard look at what you're doing and how you're doing, because this is a call, a vocation from God. You are not benefited monetarily. You are being entrusted with a vocation. Be courageous enough to change what needs to be changed. I have many experiences in courageous teachers coming forward to make change in the Sunday school curriculum, and yours is one of those regions. I have many wonderful teachers in that region who are courageous enough to be prophets of change. Stop what needs to be stopped and start what needs to be started. Face these challenges and head on. Watch God uses your ministry to change the lives of kids and families for salvation and for eternity. Let us change these challenges to possibilities. Now, when dealing with possibilities, I offer you certain possibilities on the grounds of the challenges which I have identified. First of all, we have mentioned about the lack of competence among teachers. How to deal with this lack of competence? First of all, in the OSSAE in general and OSSAE OKR in particular, being the vice president of that region, I could say that the OSSAE OKR has made it mandatory for all Sunday school teachers to pass class 12 examination or to take the Divya Bodhanam degree course. This was made mandatory because even though we don't have an opportunity to have a first-hand experience with the theological understanding of orthodoxy, the class 12 curriculum and the Divya Bodhanam, one of them, will enable you for sure to handle our children in a much, much better way. And see, when we deal with competence, it doesn't actually matter. If you have a will, if you are committed, there is always a way, no doubt about it. We are not born teachers. We are not born teachers. If you have a will, you can effectively carry out this teaching, especially Sunday school teaching. I remember one of my teachers when I was in standard 1 or 2, I don't know in which class I was in. We have one Philippos Apachan. I don't know whether Philippos Apachan has ever attended any secular classes, but a very committed old man in his 90s. He's, in fact, obviously no more now. He taught us in our Sunday school classes. Even today, I remember a song that he taught us. I don't know whether I remember it from those good old days or whether it was further narrated to us by someone else. But Philippos Apachan's stature is very vividly, clearly there in my mind. Philippos Apachan taught us a song. The song goes like this. കൊച്ചു കൊച്ചു ജീവവണ്ടി, ദൈവം സൃഷ്ടിച്ച ജീവവണ്ടി, യേശു ഡ്രൈവർ ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ വണ്ടി കുഴിയിൽ വീണുപോകും. ഇത് ഫിലിപ്പോസ് അപ്പച്ചൻ പഠിപ്പിച്ച ഒരു പാട്ടാണ്. അപ്പച്ചൻ പറഞ്ഞു തന്നു, നമ്മളൊക്കെ ദൈവം സൃഷ്ടിച്ച കൊച്ചു വണ്ടികളാണ്, ജീവനുള്ള കൊച്ചു കൊച്ചു വണ്ടികളാണ്. ഈ ജീവനുള്ള ഈ കൊച്ചു കൊച്ചു വണ്ടികൾക്ക് വണ്ടിയായാൽ ഡ്രൈവർ വേണമല്ലോ. ഈ വണ്ടി ഓടിക്കാനുള്ള ഡ്രൈവർ ആരാ? യേശു അപ്പച്ചനാണ് ആ ഡ്രൈവർ. ഈ ഡ്രൈവർ ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും? ഈ വണ്ടി എവിടെയെങ്കിലും കുഴിയിൽ പോയി വീഴും. ഇപ്പൊ യേശു അപ്പച്ചനെ ഡ്രൈവിംഗ് സീറ്റിൽ ഇരുത്തി നമ്മുടെ ജീവവണ്ടി ഓടിക്കണമെന്ന് കൊച്ചു ക്ലാസ്സിൽ ഫിലിപ്പോസ് അപ്പച്ചൻ പറഞ്ഞു തന്നപ്പോൾ we never felt that there is any lack of competence in Philippos Apachan's teaching. What I intend to say is that commitment is what really matters. So, moving forward, the second challenge that we identified is that of the lack of cooperation from the part of the parents. What I identified is that we can, to a certain extent, manage this issue by being in constant touch with the parents. Being a Sunday school teacher, I don't know how many of you do this, Being in a constant touch with parents can help a lot in bringing the students closely associated with Sunday school class. We can organize Sunday school parent-teachers meeting as we do in secular schools. In Broadway Church, there is a practice of regular parent-teachers meeting. Even before the lockdown, it was there. In the lockdown also, we hold it online. There is parent-teachers meeting on a regular basis. It helps to have a wonderful tie between the parents and the teachers, which will enable us to have a more effective cooperation of the parents to the Sunday school. Then, I don't know if Tirumeni is here. This is a policy decision which is to be made in the church level. Many people come to us because for different sort of certificates for their children, for the admission of their children, for the community certificate for their children, for the baptism certificate of their children, for the marriage needs, and so on. Different parents approach the vicars. Make it a policy in church level that no official certificate for any purpose will not be issued to children who deliberately avoid Sunday school class. If this policy is being made officially, I think some people may be scared and they will actually send the students to Sunday school for sure. This is my conviction. Now, how to address the issue of lack of interest of the children? Lack of interest of children has got many underlying factors in them. One of the things that we can do is to improvise our teaching methodology. The pedagogy of teaching has to be changed. Having said this, I don't mean that the traditional way of teaching has to be put aside altogether, but rather we have to introduce new teaching methodology in our Sunday school. We will discuss some of the modern teaching methodologies. First one is collaborative learning technique. By collaborative learning, what is meant is teachers form a group of students and they solve the problems, they discuss the topics, they clear their queries among that group. Every student is part of a success group as they help each other to reach the desired result, and they also learn to communicate with each other. These students in their group, they present the ideas and they expect a response when they are in group learning. It allows them to exchange their creativity and gain more learning. This collaborative learning, it helps. It is actually a positive interdependence among the children. It helps students feel support and belonging at the same time, that they are motivated to try hard to assist the group in reaching its goal. This is a successful tool which is practiced in the secular area, which we can actually implement in Sunday school to a great extent. The second more teaching methodology that I would like to present is spaced learning. Spaced learning is nothing other than when the teacher repeats the course for n number of times until the students understand the basic idea of the text, but in between provide at least a 10-minute break. You will say that, Acha, we have only 30 minutes, how can we provide 10 minutes break in between the lessons? I understand the situation fully, but even though a break for some time will actually refresh their mind, you can actually give some activities to improve the mindfulness techniques, which prepares them for the next session of the same lesson, which will actually have a large impact of understanding the class in a better way. This is one of the modern teaching techniques. Now, a third technique is that of flipped classroom. Flipped classroom, as the name indicates, is the reversal order. That is, in the traditional setting, we give the lesson in the classroom and we give activities for the children to do it at their home. The homework is being done at their homes. Here, students study new material or content at home, a reversal of the thing, and practice the same in the classroom. This method is the reverse of providing content at school, at Sunday school, and ask the student to rework on it or practice it at home. A reverse thing. Students are asked to study from their home itself with the necessary instructions given by the teachers, and the classroom is converted into a center of practical learning. Therefore, the entire education method is reversed to make it more fruitful and productive. This is not something new. Even though this is presented as a new teaching technique, I have experience of our Sunday school teaching doing this to us. I don't know what their intention was. They made us learn the whole session beforehand at home and come to the classroom equipped with what is there in the textbook. We have practiced it long back. I think in the Sunday school classes also we can introduce the same thing, which is a very effective method, and the students will get a chance to raise their doubts when they have a prior knowledge of what is there in the text beforehand. Now, moving forward to the next methodology, that is gamification. Gamification is the responsibility is of teaching through gamification. That is, the teachers plan or design projects that will be suitable for the students of their respective years. So the significance has mostly been seen in elementary and preschool system, but learning through playing games won't be even realized by students. They learn by their own. I know in Australia, Singapore, Malaysia, New Zealand, this is being done in the secular schools also. They come to understand an idea through games. We can do this in Sunday school. I remember when we organized this sort of a training program in our Melbourne Sunday school, Matthew Simon Uncle has invited a resource person, if I remember right, from the Anglican Church. They came along with a huge suitcase with full of activity materials. And during the session, there was a model class. They were actually teaching, they were actually presenting a story, a parable which is said by Jesus Christ. They enacted the whole thing by making use of the materials that they had. And they actually had an activity, a game through which the students understand the parable in a better way. So other denominations, other churches in and around us also make use of this modern techniques in their Sunday school classes. Now, another technique is the VAK teaching, where V stands for visual, A for audio, and K for kinesthetic, which is movement. Its impact is more effective in the modern era. We know by the invention of modern tools and techniques, we can make use of the VAK teaching methodology in a much effective manner than in the older times. In the time of the internet, watching and learning through videos has become a very popular medium of teaching. We can make use of this VAK model. Visual means seeing the data, and audio means, A means audio, that is gathering the information through hearing, and K is the kinesthetic. Through videos and things, we can effectively pass an idea to our children. Students grasp fast when they see, hear, or feel instead of reading the material. And also, a learner is not limited to any one of the media, as they can use even all the three medium of instruction simultaneously. Now, moving forward, another modern technique in teaching is crossover learning. The crossover learning uses both the formal and informal teaching and learning environment, that is mostly used in the secular setting. That is, we have a traditional setting, that is, we give that in the Sunday school. In addition to that, we take our students to the informal environment also. In the secular setting, it could be a museum, it could be a seminar which is being conducted outside the school or after school places. In the Sunday school also, in the same way, we can actually take our children outside. I don't know how practical this would be in the outside India Sunday schools, but there are monasteries which we can actually take our children to when we deal with asceticism or ancient monasticism. When we teach them to our students, we can have a direct experience with visiting a monastery. We can make use of such informal environment in our Sunday school teaching environment also, which is actually denoted by the crossover learning. Moving forward, next is project-based learning. We have actually introduced that in our Sunday school also. The project refers to the task given to the students entirely associated with the field they are pursuing or the text which they are studying. They are provided with practical case studies which require the application of their skill set and knowledge to provide an optimum solution to the problem. This is what actually they intend in a secular setting, but in the Sunday school also, we have actually started in the OSSAE and OSSAE OKR by providing the students with projects. This can be started in very, very younger ages, which enable our students to act in a more emphatic manner to learn the lessons more effectively. And the final thing is teachers as co-learners. What Rabindranath Tagore stated long ago still holds good for teachers as learners. As Tirumeni in his 10 points mentioned this thing also, teachers should be eternal learners. A teacher, Rabindranath Tagore says, a teacher cannot truly teach unless he is still learning himself, he or she. A lamp cannot light another lamp unless it continues to burn its own flame. So the current paradigm sees teaching and learning as social processes where the students are active co-constructors of knowledge with their teachers. The teacher's role is more of a facilitator or a fellow learner alongside the students. We have some modern online learning applications. You might have heard of a Malayali guy who has introduced this and is very successfully running this Byju's app. In Byju's app, there are many facilitators. They are in constant contact with the students. Even the parents are invited to learn alongside with the children. I'm not advocating for Byju's app, but this is simply, I mentioned that just because we come across the co-learning methodology where the teacher will become a fellow learner along with the students. So coming to the last concluding session of today's narrative, beloved ones, these are the things which we can actually introduce in our Sunday school setting. Moreover, we have to always bear in mind that we should be very honest about the commitment to teach Sunday school. This is not a paid job. This is a vocation. This is a call by God Himself. Be 100% committed to the call. Secondly, bear in mind that prayerful preparation is important because the material you are teaching is important. It is nothing other than the word of God. We are introducing God to our children. And that is why for many children, their Sunday school teachers are the first face of God they see. So our role in the minds of our students is so high if we deal it in that sense. And finally, and not the least, but a very important point is that make it a point that our children are taught at least one biblical verse on every Sunday. After each Sunday school class, make them teach at least one biblical verse, which will be a light for them in their journey of life. Let me conclude my session by once again thanking most respected Tirumeni and beloved Jidinachan and all the office bearers of OSSAE Far East region. My sincere thanks to my beloved headmasters, headmistresses, and teachers of Australia, New Zealand, Malaysia, and Singapore region. Beloved ones, I am so glad to see you all in person. May God bless us all.
Thank you so much, Achan, for your words of wisdom.